I'm going to practice a little bit, and I had talked to somebody about showing off the Herapot clip. Basically, I've seen a few different setups for this, and I've not yet seen anyone do it with the setup that I use exactly. I think it's a little bit easier than the setup that I've seen in the past. So I'd like to showcase that just real quick, and I will put this up on YouTube as well. I think that there's like there's at least 4 different setups that I'm aware of, and this is by far the easiest one, I think. So if you want to learn how to do the Herapot clip, I recommend just seeing what I do, and I'll show you how it works, what my setup is for it. And if you don't like it, find another tutorial. There's a couple other good ones. I know, actually, the one that I used to learn it myself was a video that Koi made. His is really good, but again, the setup was weird, and I found it a little bit less consistent. So yeah, I'll go over what I do and then exactly when I tend to use it. So for anyone that doesn't know, first of all, the Herapot clip is clipping into this pot right here, so you can skip going upstairs the normal way over here and needing the big key to get to the boss. Even if you have the big key, this still ends up being faster, so it's recommended, really, especially if you have the big key. That way you're not going to have any chance of orphaning any items. The setup I use, I'll just jump right into it, is the easiest, I think, because you can basically normalize your y-axis. You use these pegs here to set up your height for the bomb and for your position, so you don't have to worry about getting that right. It's a lot less to worry about. I'll show you with boots and without boots as well. With boots is even easier. So what you can do is you can walk in this corner, and it sets you at the right height. And then you can bonk into this, and this is the position where you'll lay the first bomb. Oh, I need bombs. Okay. Oops. Hang on one second. 30 is plenty. I guess we'll go ahead and make a save state. Yeah, so this is where you'll go ahead and lay the bomb. Right here. I'll do it real quick, and then I'll show you like exactly what I look at to line it up to make sure I'm in the right spot, with or without bombs. So you can lay the bomb, and then you go in this corner right here. You don't have to menu here. I was just kind of showing you them all the way in the corner. And then just walk straight to the right. And this is the right vertical position for it. The bomb will blow you up, and then you can hook shot and fall in here. So I'll slow that down and go over it again a little bit here. So the idea behind it is the bomb pushes you in exactly the right part of this pot, so you're partially clipped into it, and you can hook shot to grab the inside of the pot rather than the outside. Then the end part, you just tap left to kind of push off the left wall. It aligns you with the center, and then you can press up to fall in. So I'll just do that one more time. So walk into the corner. If you have boots, you can bonk off of this, which is perfect. It's nice and easy. Drop a bomb. You don't have a ton of time, but you can go into that corner. At some point, you have to switch to the hook shot and line up. What I line up with, at this point, basically, I use the menu. I saw a setup where they look at, make sure my cursor's on screen, where they look at this chest right here, but it's kind of hard for me to see where exactly this line is, especially with the yellow menu and the yellow chest. The lines are a little bit weird. What I use is in the center of the pot, there's this line in the floor. So you should be just far enough to the right where there's 1 pixel left of the line that's visible. This lighter, this bluer, or I don't know, I guess more blue-gray color, not the dark line in between the tiles. So when that's visible, you know you're in the right spot. Bomb blows you up. Hook shot. Tap left, so you push off this left wall, basically, on the inside of the pot to center you, and then up to fall down. As for the first part of the setup, so if you don't have boots or if you're not sure you're in the right spot, you can hold your sword out so you're still looking left, just like you would be for boots. And basically, you want to use, I use this line again. I love these lines in the ground. Right here, it's kind of the same idea, but this time I align it so there's 1 pixel of this blue line that's just between, it's just off to the side of the door, basically between the pot and the door. You have 1 pixel between Link's shadow at the back and the actual square of the tile. So that's how you know you're in the right spot. You can drop the bomb, walk up and left, switch the menu here, and I went too far. So this should be right. You can see again, just like before, there's 1 pixel between this main item part of the menu and this line on the floor between the tiles. And you have to pause anyway to switch to the hook shot, which is why I kind of like using the item menu there. If you do it exactly right, it's pretty much free. You don't even waste any time pausing since you have to pause. But worst case scenario, you do a couple of pauses and you're good. So hook shot over to the right. You obviously have to make sure you're looking right when that bomb blows up. So if you walk too far like I did, you have to walk further back to the left and then to the right again. So like for example, obviously if you say you line up the first part and like I did, you walk too far. You can't just go this way because then there's obviously nowhere to... Actually, hold on. Let me start that over. This is okay if you have the boots, because you can use the boots to buffer yourself to turn. You can tap A, hold down for just part of the time it takes to charge up, and while it's charging, turn to the right without moving and fix it. Then you're okay. But otherwise, if you don't have the boots, it's a little bit more... Be a little bit more cautious. Make sure you're facing right when the bomb blows up on you. So, again, real quick, bonk, drop the bomb, go up and left. Make sure you're all the way in that corner. And move right until there's that 1 pixel here between this line on the tile and your menu, and you're set. I will say one thing to be tricky of that I actually didn't know when I first learned this, and I wasn't sure why I wasn't getting it sometimes, but when you dash, you can use the tile above to kind of push you down like that. When you're mostly aligned, notice it pushes you down. I actually learned from doing this trick, I was actually explaining my setup to somebody, and he let me know that it sometimes doesn't push you on the right vertical pixel if you do that. It can push you, I don't know if it's too far or not far enough, but if you use this to push you down, sometimes it doesn't work. And it's kind of hard to visualize and see that, so you might think you've got it, and just like that, that's a perfect example. That looked like it was right, I know I had the right spot on the menu, but it pushed me too high. The bomb didn't blow me up in the right spot. So instead I kind of like give myself a little bit of leeway to not get pushed down by this block here. Come at it this way, bonk, bomb, walk up. I do the same thing there. Make sure not to like get pushed down by that block. And I'm in the right spot here for sure. Hook shot, left, and up. So yeah, it's really easy. The other setups involve different starting places, and some of them are a little bit tighter on how you move and having to line up your Y and X axis. But again, feel free to look up other methods. I guess if you want another frame of reference for the starting point in my setup, what I actually saw initially is still using the menu to make sure you're in the right spot. The left side of the item menu should be lined up exactly with this dark line on the wall. So like it just kind of seamlessly runs along the item menu right here. That's a little bit trickier, I think, not only because you have to pause to look at it, unlike if you're just setting this up without boots and you want to make sure you're in the right spot, you don't need to pause, you can just tap until you know you're in the right spot. Like here, based on the floor, there's that one line behind Link's sprite, that 1 pixel right there behind the shadow on this dark line. But yeah, if you want to use the menu there, that works as well. It's just another way to reference it. Whatever works for you. I will say, as far as using this trick, like when to use it, I think that it's more advantageous than some people give it credit for being. Because there's not a lot of cases where it'll just straight up make you miss anything. The only negative, I guess, I'll say is, so if you get, so you have 2 checks here in this dungeon. First chest, or first item down there, and then you check the chest right here, and one of them is bound to be either small key or big key, and normal, like, open, non-key sanity, you know, no key shuffle, anything like that, settings. So if you have the big key, it's always faster to go up this way. So if you have the big key, you should, I'm pausing way too early, that's okay. If you have the big key, oops. So I actually don't know what I did wrong on that one, but that's no big deal. That should be right. So if you have the big key, you can go this way, and then where it takes you to this fairy room, you can always refill health if you need to, and take the portal. From here, if you have the big key, you should press the switch and drop down and get the big chest. And that's still faster than going the normal way through the dungeon and lining up the bomb jump right here. And of course you can open the chest here and then climb up and beat the dungeon, especially if you still need an item or if it's a crystal. If you don't have the big key, and one of the first 2 chests in the normal item placement, where maps, keys, and compasses are all in the dungeons. So if you don't have the big key, like let's say the small key was in this room over here, and this is an item, I still very much recommend doing the Herapot clip, since there's only 1 item remaining in the dungeon. Chances are this will be the big key. Well, this would have to be the big key down there. And there are 3 more locations for items: the big chest, the compass chest, and the boss. And chances are Moldorm or the compass chest is going to have the other item, and you don't need to worry about the big chest. So let's say you get small key there and like 20 rupees in that one. I would say do the clip, do the Herapot clip here, make the dungeon a little bit faster, check those other 2 locations that you can check. I don't know what was wrong with that either. Forgot to lay the bomb, okay. This maybe isn't the best job of doing it while explaining it, but that's okay. Hopefully you get the idea from this. But yeah, if you don't have the big key, what's nice too is that in this room right here, you don't even have to worry about hitting the switch on the floor. You can just fall straight here, and it puts you right by the compass chest. You can grab this, and hopefully it'll be the other item you need, and then you can go on to the boss. If you still don't have the item, I guess the only way this really backfires is if the big chest is progression, but then you can just do the basement, do the Herapot clip again to get up to the big chest, or climb up the normal way. Won't really take that much longer than doing the basement first. If you don't have an item, like let's say you get small key and a compass, then I'd probably be a lot more hesitant to do the Herapot clip. That's really when I'd say, you know, is it worth it? Do you want to mess with it, or do you just want to grab this big key down there and make sure you have it? And then of course you can grab the big key down there, mirror out, or death warp, or climb back up, or whatever you need to do to get back up to the entrance. And then you can do the Herapot clip to speed it up. So I guess it's still useful, just watch out for orphaning that big chest item, especially if you don't have an item yet from these first 2 checks. So hopefully that's helpful. I will be checking out how to put this on YouTube. I've never put any videos on YouTube yet, but I'd like to do that so that, you know, it could be another resource for anyone to find. I'm sure there's other ones out there, and I'm sure there's other ones that use the same setup, to be honest, but I haven't seen one. I've only seen a couple other setups, so hopefully this is helpful for somebody to learn this this new trick and save some time in the dungeon. I guess, well, one more thing as far as when to do it. Probably the most advantageous is something that happened to me, actually the first race I ever did this in. I came up here to Hera early with no fire source. So if you don't have a fire source and the dungeon's in Crystal, I think it's absolutely imperative to do this. Saving you the trip up the mountain for the crystal when potentially you can get all the items or just leave a worthless, you know, piece of heart or something is extremely helpful. So yeah, hopefully you found this useful. I will be highlighting this, leaving it on my Twitch, and putting it up on YouTube as well. I don't have any other videos on YouTube or anything, but this will be my first one. If you have any feedback, feel free to let me know. And I will, you know, leave comments or a message, something in the highlight or on the YouTube video or both. Hopefully addressing your questions or making a follow-up video or fixing it if I did anything wrong in this explanation.